Sunday Night Lights are coming, and the Buffalo Bills have a massive opportunity sitting right in front of them to move to 5 wins and 0 losses on the season. But it's not just about adding another W to the column. It's about doing it against a familiar rival in prime time with the whole country watching. The New England Patriots are rolling into town, and even though they're not the juggernaut they used to be, they've got enough firepower and just enough unpredictability to make this matchup more than a routine win. Now let's break it all down. What exactly needs to happen for the Bills to keep that perfect record alive? It starts with understanding who the Patriots are right now, and it's not who they used to be. This is a new era in Foxborough. Mike Vrabel is the man in charge now, replacing Gerard Mayo after a short stint. And of course, Vrabel's got deep roots with the Patriots, bringing that old-school toughness and defensive-minded identity with him. He's no stranger to big games, and even if this roster is still finding its way, he knows how to make a scrap. At quarterback, New England's got their guy, Drake May. He's young, talented, and playing with a ton of confidence. Taken 3rd overall out of North Carolina, May's been showing serious flashes. Through 4 games, he's completing nearly 74% of his passes. That's elite-level accuracy. He's averaging close to 250 yards through the air per game, with 7 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions. His passer rating? Just under 110. That puts him right near the top of the league in terms of efficiency. And get this, he's 3rd in expected points added per dropback. That's not just Rookie of the Year stuff, that's upper-tier quarterback play across the league. But it's not all roses for May. One of the biggest issues for him has been holding onto the ball too long. He's been sacked on over 9% of his dropbacks this season. That's a brutal number. And when the pressure gets home, he hasn't done a great job of avoiding the sack. In fact, 21% of the pressures he's faced have turned into sacks, the 5th highest rate in the NFL. That tells you one thing: pressure matters. A lot. Now, when May gets a clean pocket, he can absolutely dice you up. His passer rating jumps to over 120 when he's untouched. But once he's forced off his spot, things drop fast. That's the key to this matchup. The Bills have to get pressure, not just rush for the sake of rushing. Real, disruptive, backfield collapsing pressure. Make him uncomfortable. Force mistakes. And when you get a hand on him, you better bring him down. May also leans heavily on his first read. Almost 3 out of every 4 passes are going to that primary option. That's the 5th highest rate in the NFL. What does that mean for the Bills? It means the secondary needs to be disciplined because a smart disguise on coverage could cause him to panic, hesitate, or even throw into trouble. But it's not just his arm that can hurt you. Drake May is mobile, and he's not afraid to use his legs. He's already picked up nearly 100 yards on the ground this year, and this is where things get tricky. The Bills have had a real problem defending scrambling quarterbacks this season. They've given up over 100 yards to quarterbacks running on broken plays. That's the 4th worst mark in the league. And when QBs take off, they're averaging nearly 11 yards per carry against Buffalo. That's way too much. If May escapes the pocket, he can turn nothing into a big play in a flash. So whether you're spying him or just being smart with rush lanes, someone has to be responsible for keeping him contained. Looking at the Patriots' offense overall, there's definitely some talent to respect. At wide receiver, the headline name is still Stephon Diggs. He's not quite the deep threat he once was, but he's a reliable route runner and a strong chain mover. Then there's Kayshon Boutte, a guy who can win vertically and has good timing and ball tracking down the field. And let's not forget about Pop Douglas in the slot. He's fast, shifty, and while he hasn't been heavily featured yet this season, he's capable of breaking a game open. Tight and Hunter Henry remains one of the more consistent receiving tight ends in the league. He's good in the red zone, works the seams well, and is a dependable target for a young quarterback. And they're pairing him with Austin Hooper, not a star, but a solid second option at tight end who can also contribute in the passing game. Now, the Patriots' backfield is one of the more intriguing parts of this offense. Ramondre Stevenson is the lead guy. He's big, powerful, and physical, a classic between-the-tackles runner who can grind out tough yards. But the rookie, Travion Henderson, might be the one to really keep an eye on. He's got speed, vision, and the ability to catch passes out of the backfield. He hasn't exploded yet, but he's dangerous. Then there's Antonio Gibson, explosive but inconsistent. He's the kind of player who might fumble one play and take it 70 yards the next. So yeah, it's a mixed bag, but there's definitely juice in that backfield. What's interesting about the Patriots' attack is how much they use those running backs in the passing game. Through 4 games, their backs have combined for 24 catches and over 240 yards, the second highest mark in the NFL for running back receiving production. So for the Bills, linebacker coverage is going to be key. You can't let those check downs turn into chunk plays. On the offensive line, it's a real mix of youth and veterans. On the left side, they're starting 2 rookies, Will Campbell at tackle and Jared Wilson at guard. Campbell was a top 5 pick, and while he's got the tools, he's also raw and still adjusting. Wilson, too, came out of Georgia with limited starting experience. There could be opportunities there for Buffalo's defensive front to create mismatches. At center, they've got Garrett Bradbury, the former Viking. He's athletic, but he's struggled with physicality and anchor strength for most of his career. At right guard, Mike Onwenu is their best lineman, a physical force and the most consistent piece up front. Then at right tackle, it's Morgan Moses, a steady veteran presence. So overall, it's a line that's got holes and growing pains, especially on that left side. Put it all together, and the formula is pretty clear. Pressure Drake May, contain his scrambling, and don't let the running backs hurt you through the air. If the Bills can execute that game plan defensively, they're going to be in a strong position to control this game. But let's be real. The Patriots aren't showing up to just play spoiler. Mike Vrabel knows how to get his teams ready, and this Patriots squad is still scrappy. So this won't be a walkthrough. Buffalo has to come out sharp, stay disciplined, and force the action early. Now, let's flip it and talk about what the Bills need to do on offense. Because while a lot of the attention is on Drake, May, and this Patriots offense, the real mismatch might be when Josh Allen and the Bills take the field. That's where Buffalo can truly take control if they execute. But this Patriots defense, while not dominant, does have some sneaky pieces and some metrics that suggest they're better than you might think. Still, when you dig deeper, the cracks start to show. First off, the numbers. The Patriots are allowing just 20 points per game, 11th in the NFL. So on the surface, that looks like a defense that's doing its job. But when you dig into the advanced analytics, it tells a different story. They're 22nd in expected points added per play, 26th in EPA per pass, and while they're top 5 in EPA per rush, that rushing stat deserves a big asterisk. We'll get to that. Their third down defense is middle of the pack, and their red zone defense? A disaster. Teams are scoring touchdowns on nearly 90% of their trips inside the 20. That's 31st in the league. So while they might look solid statistically overall, they're giving up points in crucial moments and struggling to hold firm when it counts. One area where they still try to be aggressive is in coverage. They play man coverage about 30% of the time, one of the 10 highest rates in the league. And with Christian Gonzalez back at corner, they might lean into that even more. Gonzalez is one of the most exciting young corners in football. He's long, fast, physical, and has real ball skills. He'll likely be tasked with shadowing Stephon Diggs at times. On the other side is Carlton Davis, another long, press corner with plenty of starting experience. Those two give New England one of the better outside duos in the league, and they can make things tough if you're trying to win isolated matchups on the perimeter. But the advantage for Buffalo doesn't live outside. It lives in the middle of the field. That's where this Patriots defense has been vulnerable. The linebacker group is shaky. Robert Spillane is the main guy, a physical, high-effort backer who plays with toughness, but he's been inconsistent in coverage. Next to him, it's been a revolving door. Christian Ellis has struggled badly. Jack Gibbons has rotated in. There's no stability, and when you combine that with question marks at safety, especially if Craig Woodson is out, it leaves a wide-open lane for Buffalo's tight ends and slot options to go to work. Kyle Duggar, once viewed as a future star, has taken a step back. The Patriots reportedly tried to move him in the offseason, and he's only on the field now because of injury. So you've got a vulnerable second level, and that's where Josh Allen can pick this defense apart. Middle of the field, quick throws, tight end usage, and running backs out of the backfield. That's how you get this unit off balance. Another massive factor here is the run game. On paper, the Patriots look like one of the best in the league at defending the run. They're giving up just over 3 yards per carry, and they're fourth in EPA per rush. But again, context matters. They've faced the Raiders, Dolphins, Steelers, and Panthers. Not exactly teams with dominant run games or dangerous dual-threat quarterbacks. Buffalo is a completely different beast. With the way the Bills use motion, their mix of inside and outside runs, and Josh Allen's legs, this is going to be a totally new test for New England. James Cook is averaging explosive gains almost every week. Latavius Murray brings that downhill power. And Josh Allen, he's still one of the best rushing threats in the league, especially in short yardage and red zone situations. Add in all the pre-snap movement and formation diversity, and it's going to put stress on a defense that hasn't had to deal with this level of speed and complexity. Buffalo needs to lean into that. Force the Patriots to prove they can stop it. And if they can't, punish them with long physical drives. Up front, the Bills' offensive line will be dealing with some strong interior talent. Christian Barmore is probably New England's most disruptive lineman, a gap shooter who can collapse the pocket and create chaos inside. If Milton Williams is available, that gives them another quick, penetrating tackle, but he's been banged up and may not play. Their nose tackle, Khyiris Tonga, is more of a space eater, and he'll likely be used to clog up running lanes. On the edge, Harold Landry is the guy to watch. He's got speed, bend, and familiarity with this Vrabel system from their time together in Tennessee. Landry can wreck plays if you're not disciplined in your protections. But here's the opportunity. This defense struggles when they're forced into their base package. When they've got 3 linebackers on the field, their pass defense craters. In fact, they're bottom 5 in the league in EPA per snap when in base personnel against the pass. That's where Buffalo can get creative. By using heavier sets, 2 tight ends, even 3 tight ends, or a fullback, they can force New England into those heavier groupings. And then, spread them out. Throw the football. Attack mismatches. Use motion to create confusion. That's where Ken Dorsey and the offensive staff can really shine. And one more thing. This is not a game to be cute with targets. You're not winning this one throwing it 25 times to the outside against Gonzalez and Davis. This game is about the middle of the field. It's about Dawson Knox. It's about Khalil Shakir. Maybe even some Deontay Hardy working from the slot. Get Diggs and Coleman moving inside. Use layered routes. Use play action. And most of all, be aggressive. Red zone execution is another area where Buffalo has a major edge. The Patriots, as we mentioned, have been horrible defending in the red zone. 7 of 8 trips have ended in touchdowns for opposing teams. Buffalo, on the other hand, is one of the most efficient red zone offenses in football. If they get down there, and they should, the points have to come. No empty trips. No settling for 3. Before we dive back in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest Buffalo Bills updates straight to your screen. And hey, don't hold back. Let us know your thoughts on today's news down in the comments. Whispers are turning into roars in Buffalo as the rumor mill heats up around one of the most shocking potential moves in NFL history. Sources close to the team suggest that the Bills are on the verge of securing a deal that could redefine their franchise forever. Tyreek Hill, the explosive wide receiver known for turning the field into a runway, is reportedly in talks to join the Bills. If true, this would not just be a signing. It would be the biggest acquisition in the history of the Buffalo Bills. The mere thought of Hill donning the Bills' blue and red has sent fans into a frenzy. Known as the Cheetah for his unmatched speed and game-breaking ability, Hill has been a force to be reckoned with since his arrival in the league. Imagine him lining up alongside Stephon Diggs, stretching defenses with his electrifying deep threat capability. Rumors suggest the Bills' front office is willing to go all in, offering a contract that would not only rival, but potentially surpass anything ever seen in Buffalo. Inside sources hint that the deal could be finalized as soon as next week, with private meetings and late-night phone calls fueling the speculation. Analysts are already speculating how Hill's arrival could transform the Bills' offensive scheme. Some insiders say that quarterback Josh Allen is reportedly ecstatic at the possibility, envisioning a new dynamic that could make Buffalo a nightmare for opposing defenses. Fans on social media are divided between excitement and disbelief. Some are calling it a once-in-a-generation signing, while others caution that nothing is official until Hill himself steps onto the field wearing a Bills jersey. Even rival teams are paying attention, wondering if this move signals a new era where the Bills are no longer just competitive, but a team to be feared in every game. As the days tick by, the buzz refuses to die down. From rumor to potential reality, the story of Tyreek Hill joining Buffalo is one that could go down in NFL lore as the moment the Bills made their boldest move ever. If it happens, the league will have to brace itself. A team that can run, catch, and explode downfield faster than ever before is coming. And Tyreek Hill might just be the spark that lights the fuse. That's a wrap for now. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay on top of all things Buffalo Bills, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what you think in the comments. See you in the next update.